Thanks for being on Boardroom Buzz with us.
Thanks for having me.
So how will the learnings from the pandemic shape the way that you address future issues?
COVID has been one of these amazing learning experiences for me. It packed literally 5-10 years worth of life experiences into a short span of 2 years. It really helped me break away from the thinking of the past, because a lot of the problems that we've been trying to solve have existed for a long time, but we still seem to be using 20th century type of thinking and technology and solutions to solve for those things. So one big learning for me is that if you take a look at the education space, for example, we proved that space and time doesn't matter. Learning can happen from anywhere. You don't have to be in a school system to learn. You could be sitting in the comforts of your home and learning as well. Assuming your child is sick, he or she doesn't have to miss school, can be learning from home. The second problem that we could potentially solve is, if you look at the teacher staff limitations that we've had for a long time, you could have the best teacher sitting there in the middle of Manhattan teaching somebody in Miami. And all of a sudden, you have the opportunity to get the best kind of learning into these school systems. So the big message for me is that COVID really allowed and has given me the opportunity to use new way of thinking and new technologies to solve problems that we've struggled with for a long time, whether it's education, healthcare, or climate change.
Great. So what source has recently impacted you, either personally or professionally, and how has it changed your perspective?
A recent book I read that really got me excited, I won't say a book, it's actually an article that I read, is from Harvard Business Review. The article is titled The Hybrid Startup. So one of the things that I've always been thinking about is that when you think about an established corporation, most of these corporations have amazing capital, they have a balance sheet, they have access to people, which is customers, they have distribution, and they have vast resources. Yet, when it comes to innovation, they are unable to outthink and out-innovate 2 or 3 people sitting in a garage with very limited resources. And the question has always perplexed me. Why is that happening? And this particular article really helped me understand how we can actually change thinking in a way. So when you think about innovation, it requires 2 things. The 0 to 1 phase is all about the speed of learning and speed of execution. If you look at most corporations, what happens is they're used to a structured process. They're not really focusing on the learning, they're actually focusing more on the process of getting things done, because that's what they tune to. So for really innovation to happen within established corporations, I feel that there should be an insider and an outsider approach. The outsider is a person who knows how to set up these design experiments and then put you on that track of learning. The insider is somebody who knows how to unlock resources within a corporation to really put these 2 things together. So the hybrid organization is all about how do you bring in external people to set up those experiments? How do you have the internal person to really take it, unlock resources within the organization, and how do you stand those things up? If you can take that approach, I personally find that we can actually even move faster. Not that 21st century is not fast-paced and dynamic. I think if we can unlock this particular value, I think the world is going to be even more exciting, and a lot of corporations will not be wasting their investments.
What experience outside the boardroom surprisingly influenced how you approach your role as a director?
That's a very interesting question. So I was always thinking, why the hell am I involved in boards? And this goes back to an experience I had probably 15, 17 years ago. I'm a scuba diver and I've been diving for a while. And then I used to live in Pennsylvania. So one of the organizations there, it's called Pennsylvania Water Rescue. During winter time, you have all these lakes that freeze and like kids are playing on it, they slip through it, and bad things can potentially happen. So they were looking for people who had diving skills and ice rescuing skills to help this organization. So here we were in this community providing a very valuable service, and that was in most cases saving lives, and in some cases it ended up being a rescue operation as well. One of the days I walked in, I was one of the volunteers there, we found that the organization had to shut down. And I was completely perplexed because this was an organization that had committed people and they were providing valuable resources to the community. Unfortunately, this organization ran out of money. So at that point, I started thinking, who wasn't thinking about it? That's when I started learning about boards. I was still in my 30s and I still kind of knew what a board was, but then I looked at it and said, boards are this particular group of people that are responsible for the sustainability of an organization. So that particular experience got me working with United Way in terms of understanding how board leadership works. And I've been part of NACD since 2010 maybe, and I became an NACD fellow in 2013. I'm also a certified NACD director now. So to me, that put me on this journey of how do you improve board purpose and board performance? And in doing so, how do you establish the success of these organizations? Because businesses, as we heard from Fred earlier today, have an important role in society. They can create amazing value for customers, communities, employees, and that is something that can be truly unlocked when you have an amazing board that's focusing on the future and helping the management team think through those issues.
Thanks so much for being with us.
I enjoyed being on your show. Thank you.